When a relationship breaks, people want someone to blame, and almost always they point at one person, the third person, the outsider, the one who destroyed everything, and the story becomes simple. If they never appear, this would never happen. This family would still be whole. This love would still exist. Is it really that simple? Because think about this. A door that is fully closed is not easy to enter. If a relationship still has trust, it still has warmth, still has boundaries, still has emotional connection, then even temptation has no place to go. So yes, the third person is visible, but visible does not mean they are the only cause, because most betrayals don't begin the day someone new appears. They begin much earlier, in silence, in distance, in neglect, in things that were never said, in love that slowly faded. There was a woman who thought her marriage was fine, not perfect, but stable. She had a husband, children, a home, no drama, no chaos. From the outside, everything looked normal, but one day she found out the truth. Her husband had someone else. It didn't come all at once. It came in small signs, a different way of using his phone, late nights with unclear reason, a presence that felt absent, and then the truth became undeniable. There was another woman, and in that moment, everything inside her collapsed. Trust broke, dignity shattered, memories turned bitter. Everything she built felt meaningless. She was angry at him, but even more, she hated the other woman, because in her mind, that woman destroyed everything. In that reaction, it's normal. When people are hurt, they need someone to blame, someone to hate, and the third person become that target. But after time passed, after the anger, after the exhaustion, she started looking deeper, not to excuse, not to forget, but to understand. And slowly, she saw something painful. The third person did not enter when the marriage was strong. She entered when there were already empty spaces, empty conversations, empty dinners, empty connection. Two people living together, but no longer truly seeing each other, because love rarely dies in one moment. It dies slowly when someone feels unheard, when someone feels invisible, when pain is ignored, when people live together but stop connecting. The third person doesn't always create that emptiness. They step into it. Now listen carefully. This does not mean they are innocent. If someone knows a person is married and still enters, that is a choice, a wrong one. But if you blame only them, you miss the real truth. If the relationship was still alive inside, there would be no space for them. The husband didn't betray just because someone appeared. He betrayed because something inside him was already disconnected. He chose wrong. He avoided truth. He looked outside instead of fixing what was inside. And that's the core. Relationships don't break just because someone new comes in. They break because someone inside opens the door. And that door doesn't open by accident. It opens when boundaries weaken, when conversation go too far, when emotional needs are taken outside instead of handled inside, when someone stop protecting what they once promised. That's why the third person is often just the final spark, not the fire, because the fire was already burning. And here's the deeper truth. Many relationships are already empty. Long before betrayal happens, no real conversation, no listening, no appreciation, no warmth, just routine, money, children, responsibilities. The house is still there. The marriage is still there, but emotionally it's already gone. And when someone feels empty long enough, even a little attention feels powerful. A few kind words, a little understanding, a moment of being seen, and suddenly they start leaning away from home. That's how it begins. Not always with desire, but with comfort in the wrong place. Someone feels unseen, so they go where they are seen. Someone feels criticized, so they go where they feel accepted. Someone feels ignored, so they go where someone listens. And if that continues, it becomes betrayal. And betrayal doesn't just hurt two people, it destroys trust, it affects children, it damages everyone. So if you want truth, you need to see all layers. First, the one who made the promise and broke it carries the biggest responsibility because they were inside and they chose to open the door. Second, the third person, if they knew, still made a choice. They walked into something they shouldn't. Third, the relationship itself must be examined, not to blame the victim, but to understand what was already broken. The woman eventually saw this. She didn't forgive easily. She didn't forget. The pain stayed. But she refused to live in hatred forever because hatred doesn't heal you. And then she saw the deepest truth. The biggest pain was not just the betrayal. It was realizing that long before that woman appeared, the marriage was already dying, and neither of them had the courage to face it. And that's the real lesson. Don't let the relationship die in silence. Don't ignore distance until it becomes a gap you can't fix. Don't replace connection with routine. Don't believe responsibility alone can keep love alive, because betrayal doesn't start when two people meet. It starts when someone stops coming home emotionally, when someone stops protecting what they once valued. People want a simple villain. It feels easier, cleaner, but the relationships are never that simple. The third person is wrong. The one who betrays is wrong. But if you want to grow, you have to look deeper, because a house doesn't collapse just because of the wind. It collapses because something inside was already weak. That doesn't mean everyone is equally wrong, but it means real growth comes from seeing the full picture. Some people ask, who is the third person? But the better questions are, when did we start losing each other? What stopped between us? What silence did we ignore? What was already empty? Those questions hurt more, but they make you stronger, because only then you stop repeating the same mistake. The third person may be the storm, but they are not always the reason the house fell. Sometimes what destroys a relationship is the distance no one fixed, the silence no one broke, the boundaries no one protected, the truth no one dared to face. So yes, hold people accountable. Don't romanticize betrayal, but also look deeper, because only then you truly learn. And here's something even harder. Why is it that even when we know something is hurting us, we still can't let go?